Namaste, welcome. I'm Laurie Farmer from Sharing Yoga. Thanks for joining us again for another class. We are in beautiful Cape Town, South Africa. View of Table Mountain right outside the window. If you haven't been here before, highly recommend it. So why don't we start seated? Come to a comfortable cross-legged seat. Maybe rock back and forth a little bit, grounding down to help lift you up through the crown of your head, closing your eyes if that's comfortable, or just bringing your gaze gently in front of you on the floor. And just take a moment here, coming into your practice, fully present in the moment. And maybe sitting here with your eyes closed, think about something that you might want to focus a little bit on today. It might be something to do with stretching or strengthening the body. It might be something to do with, backing off a little bit or giving a little more care to your knees or your shoulders or your neck. Or it might be something to do with your attitude, with the mind, where it takes you. Using this practice in whatever way feels most beneficial to you today. And we'll seal that intention, that thought, with an Om. Bring your hands to your heart center. Inhaling. Great. Opening your eyes, releasing your hands down. Walking your right hand out alongside your right hip, reaching up through the left fingertips and extending over toward the right. Breathing here. And coming back up through center, and we'll take that to the other side. Extending up through the left fingertips, reaching over to the left side. Back up to center. And then we'll take a gentle twist. So bring your left hand to your right knee or thigh. Right fingertips behind. Extend up, lengthen as you inhale and exhale. Twisting just gently here as we're warming up the body. Back through center and to the other side. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. We got a little drumming, which is nice. Back to center, and then walk the hands forward, relaxing the head down completely. Maybe even moving the head in sort of a yes-no position. Bringing some movement to the neck. And walking the hands back up. Great, let's bring the legs out straight, shaking them out a little bit. And we're going to take some movements with the ankle. So sitting up tall, moving the feet around in one circular motion. And then the other direction. Great, and then pointing the feet. Flexing, scrunching the toes. Pointing again, flexing, scrunching the toes. Nice. You can cross the legs or keep the legs straight, and we'll move the wrists a little bit. Interlacing fingers, just rotating the wrists, and then other direction. Nice. And then you can stay seated. I'm going to come on to my shins, sitting back, bringing a little stretch to the thighs. If it's more comfortable to stay seated, you can do that. We're going to bring the fingertips to the shoulders and rotate the shoulders a little. And then other direction. I've got a little bit of clicking noise happening. It's good to move them. And release. Great. And then let the head, the right ear, move toward the right shoulder. It's time to do yoga. And coming back up to center, left ear to the left shoulder. And back up to center. Great. And then tuck the toes under if you're on your shins. Coming to a bit of a squat, and then we're going to come up to a standing, folding forward posture. Let the head relax completely. Maybe bring the feet about hip distance apart. You can either keep your hands on the shins, on the floor, or take opposite elbows. And then moving the torso a little bit, swinging side to side. And slowly roll up. Great. And then let's take a couple standing warm-ups here too. Bringing the feet together. Bring the arms up overhead. Interlacing the fingers. And then lifting up and reaching over to the right side. Grounding down through the feet, particularly through that left foot. As you extend up through the fingertips. And back up to center and to the other side. Great. Back up to center. Bring the feet about hip distance apart. Interlace the thumbs. Bring the arms up overhead again. And now twisting to the right. Grounding down through both feet. Back to center and to the left. And back to center. Great. Releasing the arms, shaking out. And then let's bring the right foot, the right leg, the knee, up and into the chest. See if you can maybe use a slight bend to the left leg. And then hugging that knee in a little bit higher, standing up tall. And then as it feels comfortable, you're straightening that left leg, feeling a bit more of a stretch here. And releasing, taking it to the other side. Hugging that left knee up, bending the right leg first. If you feel stable and comfortable, you can straighten that right leg. Lift the torso higher. Great, and release. Nice, shake it out. Bring the feet about hip distance apart, and we're just going to swing the arms from side to side, letting the opposite foot lift up, the heel lifting up, coming up onto the toes. You're almost kind of like moving over on the toes, feeling a little bit of a stretch on the toes here too. Guess you're not almost, you are. If that feels comfortable for your body. Is that the noon cannon? Couple more. Great, and back to center. Nice, shake it out. Now let's come to the top of your space. We're gonna take a sun salutation. Inhaling the arms up overhead, reaching through both sides of the torso, finding length. Exhale as you fold forward. Inhale, lift your gaze up. And exhale, stepping back, your high plank down through your low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog or low cobra. And back to downward facing dog. As always in this first one, you can move about some, bending one knee, bringing the opposite heel to the floor, stretching out the calves and the body a little more. And we're going to step the feet forward. As you inhale, lift the gaze. Exhale, fold. Inhale, coming all the way up, standing, arms overhead. And exhale here. We'll take that again. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, look up. Exhale, taking it back. Moving through the vinyasa. Making your way to your downward facing dog. Pushing into your hands. Breathing. The legs are engaged. Dropping to the knees, pushing back to child's posture. Lifting the hands up, coming up just onto the fingertips. Might feel a little bit more of a stretch in the shoulders in this variation. And releasing the hands down, coming back up to the hands and knees. I'm going to set up for some cat and cow. So shoulders over wrists. Hips over knees. Inhale, lift the gaze, dropping the belly. Exhale, tucking. Take that a few more times. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, lifting. Gaze, exhale, tucking. Couple more at your own pace. And then coming back to center. Drop the hips slightly to the left. Bring your gaze over the right shoulder. The heels falling a little bit to the left. And then you should feel a bit of a stretch on that left side. You can kind of play around with your weight, bringing a little bit more into the hands or maybe a little bit more into the knees and the thighs. See what feels comfortable for you. Breathing here. And back to center, and we'll drop to the other side. So heels, hips, and then maybe moving the weight forward and back a little bit. Finding a nice stretch that works for you today. Great, back to center. Nice. Now bring that right knee forward. You're going to slide into a pigeon posture, so set yourself up safely, whatever feels comfortable for you. And we're still toward the beginning of our practice, so being gentle with your body. Take a few breaths sitting, keeping the torso up, and then release down. Sitting back up, bring that back leg around, bring it to the outside of that thigh, and we're going to take a twist here. Hugging the leg in. And back to center. Letting that left leg come down now in the front. Right leg to the back into your variation of pigeon here. Couple breaths with the torso up. Breathing here. And then releasing down if you'd like to. Lifting the torso back up, swinging that back leg around, placing the foot down, hugging that right leg in, both sits bones grounded down, and bring the gaze over that right shoulder. Back to center, releasing, nice. And then bringing the legs back, coming back to your high plank. We'll hold in high plank just for a couple breaths. Reaching out through the heels, extending the crown of the head forward. And then placing the left knee down, right leg straight. We're gonna take a knee down side plank, extending that right arm up, and then maybe let it fall behind a little bit, bringing the gaze down to your planted palm, feeling a stretch, or at least I feel quite a stretch right here. And releasing, we'll take it to the other side. So right knee down, left leg straight, right palm down, left arm in the air. Feeling that stretch through that left pec area, left chest. And release. Great. Coming back to your high plank. Drop to the knees and push back to child's posture. Back up to hands and knees and back to your downward facing dog. Breathing here. Great. Walking the feet forward, lifting your gaze, folding. And inhale, coming up to standing. Exhaling here. Nice. And then let's come back to the center of your mat. Bring your feet out wide. Hands to hips. And we're going to inhale, lifting the gaze, lifting the chest up. And exhale, folding forward. Keeping your hands on the hips here first. Just let your head completely relax down. Keeping the legs engaged, the thighs strong. Almost like using the hands against the hips to push down to create a little more length in the torso. Inhale, coming back up to standing. Great. Exhale, releasing here. Shake the hips out a little bit. And then we're going to bend into the right knee, coming down, lifting the left toes up, and just come as far as feels comfortable for you. I'm up on my toes, or maybe you can plant the sole of your foot, feeling a nice stretch through this left leg. You can bring your hands to heart center, keep your fingertips on the floor. Breathing here. Just taking it as far as feels comfortable for you. And and then we'll come back up through center and to the other side. Bending into that left knee, bringing the right toes straight up toward the sky. And breathing. And back up to center, straighten both legs. Take a forward fold again. This time take your peace fingers, grabbing your big toes. Use the toes to ground down and the fingers to pull up slightly for those opposing forces to find length through the torso. Moving the shoulders away from the ears. Breathing. Inhale, lift the gaze. Exhale, hands to hips. Inhale, coming all the way up. Exhale, releasing. Great. We're going to step you can be at the top of your mat. We're going to step the right foot out. We're going to come into a triangle posture out toward the right side. So find your foundation, set up your posture, extend your arms out, reaching out and down. Gaze can be down at the floor, straight ahead, or up at the extended arm toward the ceiling or sky, depending on where you're practicing. Wherever you are, try not to collapse into that right side of the torso. Try to create length through both sides of the torso. And try to smile. Great. And then you're going to inhale the torso back up. We're going to bend into that right thigh, bringing the right forearm to the thigh. And again, you can extend that left arm alongside. Breathing here. And coming back up, we'll switch sides. So rotate the feet, finding your triangle posture first, reaching out and down. And then lifting the torso back up, bending into that left thigh. Strong through your foundation with your legs. Light through the torso, extending, breathing. And coming back up to center, bringing the legs, let's bring the legs together, and we're gonna actually come down onto the knees. I'm gonna come into what some people may know as frog posture. So we're gonna bring I like to keep the feet flexed and then work the knees out just as comfortable as far as it feels comfortable for you. Maybe staying right here is enough if you can come onto your forearms. Coming onto your forearms. That's quite a stretch. Doesn't look like it, but you'll feel it. Breathing here, and if you don't feel it, think about bringing your hips back towards your heels, and then you should feel it a little bit more. And we'll just stay a couple more breaths here. And then coming back up onto the hands if you're on the forearms. Slowly and gently bring the legs together, the thighs together, maybe sit back on the heels. And then let's just put your right hand in your left and just close the eyes for a moment here. And then if it feels comfortable for you, you may stay just like this right here. I'll move to the side so you can see. So if that's comfortable, you may stay seated like this. Only if your knees are okay and it's very comfortable for you, you can separate the feet just slightly and sit back, bringing the sits bones toward the floor, toward your mat. But if you have any pressure in the knees, come out of this right away. Otherwise, if this feels okay, it's a nice stretch for the thighs. Breathing here, and maybe you're gonna walk your hands back slightly. If you're up on your heels, you can do that as well. Rolling the shoulders back, lifting the chest, breathing here. If you know this posture, obviously you know you can come all the way down onto your back, but I'm gonna stay right here today. Breathing. Great, and then coming back up, and we're gonna release the legs to one side, coming to seated, shake the legs out in front. Nice. Release the knees a little bit, massage the knees. Move the legs back and forth. Nice. And then we're going to bring the soles of the feet together, walking the heels in. And sitting up tall, think about bringing the thighs toward the floor and the feet against one another. Pushing the soles of the feet together can help to bring the knees toward the floor. Great. And then releasing. And then we'll take this a couple times up and down. So bringing the knees up and down, lifting them up. And then let's release. So we're gonna come back to bringing the toes like we did when we were standing with the feet wide. We're gonna take the peace fingers around the big toes and lift the feet up. And you might stay right here. That might be just far enough. If you can straighten the legs or start to, just as far as feels comfortable for you. And as you're extending the legs, think about also extending the chest up, rolling the shoulders back, bringing that gaze just kind of up over the toes, breathing here. And releasing down, relax. Let's let the knees fall side to side. And then we'll take that one more time, taking the big toes, lifting the legs up. And then maybe release the feet. I don't know about today. And come into Navasana. Smiling, lifting the heart, and releasing. There's a great quote I've been reading, Nelson Mandela's autobiography, since we're here in South Africa. And there's a great quote, let's do this again, where we're talking about it. And I don't know if I'll get it exactly right, but it's something like, everything seemed impossible until it was done, or until you did it. So sometimes in yoga, some of these things do seem incredibly impossible, and then slowly, day by day, practice by practice, releasing, we move towards something that we thought we could never ever do. And it's not really the goal to just get the posture, but it's being in that experience through it. So let's, for me, I feel like I want to just fold forward here, so maybe releasing the legs either straight or cross-legged, fold forward, coming back up, straighten the legs, shake them out. Bring the right foot in, sole of the foot to the upper inner thigh, folding over that left leg, walking the hands down the leg or your mat. Breathing here. Coming back up, we'll switch sides, bending that left leg and walking down, the hands down alongside the right leg. Foot's flexed, that right leg is engaged. And sitting back up. Great. Now let's straighten the legs coming onto the back. We're going to take a bridge posture. So walking the feet in, trying to keep the feet, sides of the feet parallel with the sides of the mat. Walking the heels in as far as is comfortable for you. And then the arms can stay alongside. Lift the hips up. Breathing here. And releasing down, let the knees fall from side to side. And then setting up again, setting up your foundation with your feet. And you can take that same variation, lifting the hips up. If you feel comfortable and want to interlace the fingers underneath and roll the shoulders under. Just being gentle with the neck here, making sure if you need to look at the video or something, you roll out, take a look, trying not to injure the neck at all or take any movements that might impact the neck in this posture. And releasing down, letting the knees fall from side to side again. And then setting up one more, so I'll give you another variation. You can take either of those two we just took, or lifting the hips up again. This time, I like to kind of grab the hands to roll the shoulders under, and then planting the elbows, maybe bringing the hands underneath the hips, palms. Holding the hips up, keeping the legs engaged, so being careful that the knees don't fall out to the side, keeping the legs engaged, the thighs, breathing here. If you want to take this, anytime you want to come down, you can. If you want to take this a little bit deeper, you can lift one leg up, breathing, releasing down, maybe lifting the opposite leg. Again, only if that feels comfortable for you. And making your way safely, slowly down. And this time, let's hug the knees in to the chest, rocking from side to side. And then releasing the left leg down, hugging that right knee in. We're going to guide that leg over to the left side, bringing the right arm out. Gaze over that right shoulder. And back up to center. We'll switch legs, so right leg to the floor, hugging in that left knee. Guide that leg over to the right side. Bring the gaze over that left shoulder. Tell I feel a little tighter in this side. You might notice some differences. Just breathing into those spots and create a little bit more space. And back up to center, hugging both knees in again. And then let's bring the right ankle above that left knee. Figure 4, keeping that right foot flexed, hugging that leg in. Maybe some micro movements or bigger movements even. that left leg getting a stretch that feels good for you without overdoing it. And we'll switch sides. And releasing. Great. Let's rock up to seated. And bringing the feet together again, sole to sole. We did this posture one other time. You might notice this time being able to move a little deeper or maybe not. Being okay with wherever you are, breathing here. And if you'd like to this time, maybe folding the torso forward. And then if you want to walk your feet out a little bit, creating a diamond shape, and then rounding through the back, bringing the head toward the insteps. Inhale, sitting up, and then we're going to extend the legs out wide. Wherever that is for you. It might be enough just sitting like this, propping yourself up with your fingers behind. If you can turn your chest over the right leg and maybe walk your hands down each side of that right leg. Naturally, at least for me, my left hip, my sits bone starts to lift up, trying to keep that planted maybe. We'll feel a little bit of a deeper stretch through that left side. And for me, also walking the hand over, I get a little bit more of a stretch there. So just play around with the posture, see what you can explore a little, see what works for you to feel a nice stretch without, again, overdoing it. Keeping the legs engaged and flex helps in not overdoing that. So breathing here. And then coming up to center, and we'll walk over the left side. Inhale up to center, and then we'll just walk the hands forward. Maybe you're on the fingertips, maybe you're all the way down on the floor, wherever you are, keeping those legs engaged, which for me helps by keeping them flexed. And then you can let the head relax down. Not sure if you can hear the drumming outside, but if you can enjoy the music. Great. Coming back up, and then very gently bringing the thighs up, bringing the legs together, coming to a comfortable seated position here. And we're just going to come back, closing the eyes, taking some deep breaths, hands on knees or thighs, wherever's comfortable. And then keep the eyes closed. We're going to take a twist here again, like when we started. Left hand to right thigh, walking the right fingertips behind. Breathing here. And then coming back to center, other direction, right hand to left leg, left fingertips behind. Back to center. If that feels comfortable for you, you can just stay seated here if you'd prefer, with your eyes closed. But if you'd like to take a breathing exercise, you can bring your 2 peace fingers into the base of your thumb, using the thumb and the ring finger to help block off the nostrils. Bringing the hand up toward the face, breathing in and out through both. Inhale through both, exhale through both. Blocking off the right, inhaling through the left, closing the left, exhaling right. Inhaling right, exhaling left. Inhaling left, exhaling right. Inhaling right, exhaling left. Inhale left. After the inhale, you switch, exhale opposite side. Inhaling. And then continue a couple more rounds at your own pace. And after your next exhale on the left side, releasing your hands. Breathing through both nostrils. Envisioning the equality between the breath, between the right and the left side, between the inhale and the exhale. Bring your hands to your heart center. We're going to take an Om, inhaling. Keeping the eyes closed. Move the hands back and forth to create a little friction, a little heat. A little bit faster, and then place those palms over the eyes. And then slowly, with the hands still cupping the eyes, open your eyes into your hands. And then let the hands come back to your heart center. Namaste. Thank you for joining us. Namaste. Shanti, peace. And again, remember, I might not have, you'll have to Google it, I might not have the quote exactly right, but everything seems impossible until it's done, until you've done it. Thank you. Have a great day.